didn't expect to run into you today. It's been so long since we last saw each other. You don't recognize me? No, come on, we met at that one thing several years ago. I promise you, yeah, we met at that one thing, the one thing, and, we met there, and it's been so long. How have you been, by the way? Excellent to hear. For old time's sake, since we met at that one thing, I was wondering if you would let me draw you. I've got my sketchbook all ready to go, as well as my crayons. It wouldn't take up too much of your time, but it would mean a lot to me if you would let me just get a little sketch out, for old time's sake. Exactly. Let me open this up here. Well, I really like drawing people, and a lot of the times people say no. They think, why would I do that? But it's worth it, trust. Don't worry. Let me just get to a clean page here. You'll be grateful that we met at that one thing so many years ago, and now we're here and I get to draw you. Let's just go ahead and start. We don't want to take up too much time, so we're just going to start by drawing a circle. Okay. Yeah, I love drawing strangers. Okay. And ears. But no, people do think I'm a bit odd, which I can accept, being odd. Eyes. But I can't accept not being able to draw people, because I just like it so much. So, okay, kind of like that. Especially strangers. I like drawing strangers a lot. I like seeing different facial expressions and different ways of communicating, I think that the best way to see that is see somebody in their nose, authentic, sort of impolite form, when there's no strings attached to communicating. Oftentimes we feel like we have to act a certain way because, we don't want it to come back to bite us. I feel like we have to act maybe polite or something, but I like seeing people when they're those impolite. I just wish people would let me draw them more without having to know them, Yeah, I find going up to people I know to be a more effective strategy, so. But, we of course go way back to that one thing, so I'm grateful that I saw you so I could get a nice good drawing in, and even though it won't be, as authentic, it will still be good enough. Okay, sort of unsymmetrical there, but let's start going and adding these little curls and sort of going like that. Sort of like that, I think will work. Okay, I'm gonna draw the background as well. Put this down for a second. I think that the colors I chose are quite good. I was a little worried that I'd get the coloring wrong because you've got good colors to you. I've always thought that ever since we met. I always knew I wanted to draw you because your coloring is quite nice. And I think I have just the perfect colors to really capture your essence with my crayons here. I like using crayons for my art. I think that creating really awesome art with cheap materials is such a great way to practice and hone in your skills. Sometimes after drawing somebody on the street, drawing strangers, I will take my drawing home and just try my best to remember what they look like, and using my picture that I have for reference to recreate them, but with more sort of higher quality, more high quality medium you like, with like maybe watercolor, or hoping that this will be good for your blush. Watercolor I like working with a lot, or maybe even like an oil pastel or something, just something that's a little bit more higher quality than just the crayon is. So yeah, that's one thing that I like doing a lot, but I think that working with crayons is a great way to hone in skills. So okay, I'm gonna get some shadows now. I'm gonna use a blue. This one should be good. It's sort of a greeny blue. It says Ride the Waves. This is what it looks like. So I'm gonna kind of use this to get some more depth into the piece. Like I said, more shading. And just layering some of these colors up to sort of get a more accurate version of yourself. Like that, okay. I'm going to also use it to maybe outline some different areas on the piece. I think layering is the best way to get a good amount of depth without necessarily having really dark colors, because I sadly don't have very many dark colors. A lot of my colors are quite light because I'm working with these sort of pastel colors here. I'm gonna grab this orange. Just doing the same sort of thing, you know, like I already said, layering away. I like to slowly but surely layer up the wax and it sort of makes this like a waxy sound, but I think that it sounds quite nice, and it works really well too as a technique. So there we go. Just sort of doesn't need to be perfect. I try and do it as quick as possible because people do tend to run away from me, so I can't be too slow, you know. Wax is kind of sticky sounding sometimes. But it does really work well. And it sort of makes your limitations make you extra creative, I think, so. So I like to have limitations. Just still looking really good. Okay, we gotta figure out a good color for your short. I'm thinking a blue. I'm thinking that this blue will be perfect to just color in the shirt with. I wish it was a little bit lighter, but I like working with a limited color palette. You know, you don't get all the colors that you want, so you have to be sort of, I guess, intentional. And yeah. Okay, outlining here again, just the important places, and just sort slowly finishing things up. I just love drawing so much. I don't have a sharpener for my crayons, so they can be quite dull, but it's okay. As long as they work. What are you thinking of having for your next meal? I don't know what I want, but I'm kind of getting hungry. So I'm kind of trying to think about that so I can figure out what I want to do. Thinking about my options, I guess. The last thing that I ate was chocolate covered strawberries, and that was really good. But I need something that probably has a little bit more substance to it. But I could do like a pasta. I like pasta. Maybe I'll do a pasta. Based on what I have, I think a pasta will probably be my best bet. Just building up the waxed. And I like seeing all the different colors peeking through. When I do pieces like this, and you really, I don't know, get this sort of cool effect. Do you draw at all? It's a really fun hobby, even if you don't think that you're particularly good at it. I think that it's fun just to kind of experiment. Just creating more texture and building up the color, building up the shadow, lights, dark, saturation, hue, you know, all that different kinds of stuff. almost done. I hope that you'll like the finished results. I think that it's pretty good, and definitely not like a waste of your time, you know. I think that it's easy to think about time as this finite thing or whatever, but I think that this was worth it, you know. As far as like transactional things go. Boy, am I happy that we ran into each other today. Because I think that you were the perfect person for me to draw. I knew it once I saw you. I thought, I need to draw this person under any circumstances. Because you just have good features, and your colors, you know, it's something that some people might not even notice about themselves. And they might not be fully aware that they just have it. They have that certain something that just makes it extra fun. And I think that I've captured a lot of what I was hoping to. You know, you never quite know, you know, sometimes you spend all the effort and you draw somebody, but it just doesn't quite translate as well as it did in your mind onto the paper. But I think that today, it's pretty good. Still just, wax doesn't work really well. Like, building it up is definitely a slow process, and you know, just the way that it works and stuff. It's really easy to like scrape more than it is to put on top of each other. You kind of just have to, I think using complementary colors can work really well to sort of create the effect. I'm gonna grab a purple. To do some of the finishing touches. Well, I think that I'm just gonna close my crayon box. Close that on. And are you ready to see the finished piece of art? This is what I did. So we've got eyes, your nose, mouth, shoulders or your shirt. And that's your face. That's the face that I drew. It's not perfect, but I had fun doing it, and definitely is a good addition in the sketchbook, which kind of is filling up. Like, look. Hope you liked the finished piece, and I'm glad that I ran into you today. Maybe we'll see each other again sometime.